Hey, how you doing, everyone? You're right. I'm laughing because I've burnt too much sage. Now, I'm not a massive sage burner or anything. It's not like I'm trying to ward off evil spirits in my flat or anything like that. But I thought I want to burn. Sometimes I like to burn a little bit of incense before I teach because it kind of sets the mood, right? And I've run out of incense, so there was a bit of sage there, and I set fire to it, and it kind of. I've had to put it outside. It's on my balcony now. Hopefully, it's safe out there. So I'm a bit kind of like, whoo, saged out. So yeah, if there was any evil spirits, then they've probably gone way outside. So welcome to Yoga with Sage, Yoga with Dave in a very sagey flat. Thank you for joining. It's 170th today. Wow, 170 yoga classes with me, and probably not 170 with me, but probably about 160, something like that. Carolina covers for me from time to time. She's covering for me next week, by the way, and it will be a beautiful class. Carolina is about 8 months pregnant at the moment. She always incorporates a little bit of sound in her classes. So support her and come along next week. This will be the last week for me for a week, and then I'll be back the following week. So yeah, thank you for joining. Feel free to drop in any comments. I've got the comments bar open. And also just have a little read of the Virtual Village Hall stuff there. It said that they need a volunteer for someone to talk to. Any help by giving you or someone you know a friendly call or a listening ear. So just like there's one-off and regular chats, if you're available for that, then yeah, visit the page on the link there and just register your support to register it. So yeah, that's really amazing stuff. The Virtual Village Hall Royal Voluntary Service are doing an amazing job online here in the Virtual Village Hall, and then also out in the community as well. Some really, really great things, and there's always something happening locally. So if you're kind of like you want to get out a little bit more and kind of meet up with people, then there'll be an event for you. All right, Margaret, thank you for joining. Last week we looked at breath work, right? It was just breath work, and we did a little bit of moving. So we'll probably not do so much of that today. And then we'll kind of move a little bit more. Not that it always has to be movement. I want to do a little reading here. I'm sat on my heels. I want to move because I'm feeling a little bit uncomfortable. And the most important thing is that you feel comfortable. So I'm reading from Brightening Our Inner Skies by Norman Blair. This is a really beautiful book, which I read from time to time. It's a yin yoga book, but it's for every style of yoga. All right, so it talks about drawing together. It says the Buddha, a teaching in the 5th century BCE. This is what the Buddha said: whatever a person frequently thinks upon and ponders upon, that will become the inclination of their mind. I'll say it again: whatever a person frequently thinks upon and ponders upon, that will become the inclination of their mind. He says yoga has changed greatly. It's gone from hippies to hedges, from the fringes to the mainstream, from wandering mystics to financial masters of the universe, from drafty church halls to state-of-the-art studios. The yoga practitioner can be a mercenary, a bodybuilder, a freedom fighter, a priest, a poet, a philosopher, and more. Many ingredients are in the pot: yoga for health and beauty, yoga for stretch and relax, yoga for liberation and enlightenment, yoga for connection and insight. There are many stories than one statement. Rather than an unbroken lineage, there are sharings and discontinuities and innovations. For thousands of years, humans have been delving deep inside the body and have attempted to transform and to transcend. This is alchemy, emptying the lake bucket by bucket. People come to practice for different reasons. There was that I want the Madonna body. There was my friend taking me along because she thought it'd be good for me. Three popular reasons for practicing are relieving stress, becoming more physically flexible, and improving overall health. The boom shown few signs of slowing. In 2015, more than 30 million people practice yoga in the US alone. Yin yoga has gone from being unknown to widespread popularity within 2 decades. Yoga is often reduced down to matters of physical movement. Personally, I've found that yoga has given me the space to evolve a growing understanding and a sensitivity of body and being. The slowing down and the softening and staying is profound. What is life full of care? We have no time to stand and stare, asked poet W.H. Davis. Many people have found in these long holds a greater level of awareness when they might be in a more active practice. So that's yin yoga. We sometimes practice where we hold the poses for longer. The inner body becomes quieter. Those inner skies could be brighter. In quietness, we can more hear our aliveness within the web of life. We are complex biological organisms. We are meaning-making machines. We are breathing, feeling beings. We are fields of generating electricity. We are composed of space and billions of fast-moving particles. Once we were clouds and stardust. Once we were earth and trees. This is not semantics, a study of meaning and language. This is somatics, relating to the body. We're on this path and have two absolutely essential elements to start and to continue. From this, much can happen. And I love that, those two elements, to start and to continue, because as you guys will know, is that it's so easy to pick up a yoga practice. No, not so easy, but easier to pick up a yoga practice, but to let it go super simple, right? I'll do it next week. I'll do it the week after. And then it takes so much time to get back onto your mat. So if you have a regular class and if you have a regular practice, that is amazing, right? That can bring so much kind of peace and balance, and there's a kind of a familiarity to it. And being in those regular steady patterns can be very healing for us. And if it is just about stretching and getting more physical and strong, great. And if it's something a little bit deeper, if it's something to hang all that activity of wellness from, then your yoga practice can be that. But you got to start and you got to continue. And you know what? If you don't want to continue, that's okay as well. But me being a yoga teacher and knowing that yoga has been incredibly powerful in my life, the continuation of yoga is the really juicy part of it. And that doesn't mean that it has to be like flying around and doing loads of poses and being really strong and kind of, you got to do it this way and you got to be beautiful and you got to be young. It's nothing like that. That is not yoga. Yoga isn't that, right? And that's what we see on social media. And it drives me crazy a little bit. Yoga can be just sitting and being contemplative and just kind of going inwards and just seeing what's going on without any judgment. So that's what we're going to do today. We ain't going to judge our practice. We're going to enjoy it. Hopefully, I'm going to enjoy it. You guys might think teacher's a bit weird, but we're going to just practice together. So I'm going to go back onto my mat. I think I need a drink because of this sage smell in my flat. If you've got a sage smell in your flat, grab a drink. Do you have a drink somewhere? Where did I put it? I thought I put it somewhere. Oh, here it is. Look, it's here. It's on your red cabinet, Dave. Oh, there. So, if you can sit cross-legged, come and sit cross-legged. It doesn't matter which shin's in front. And then just have a little intuitive wriggle around. You've probably been here for the last 5 or 6 minutes. You're thinking, get on with it, Dave. Let's do some of this physical yoga. When you're ready, let's start this way. Nice and simple. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way up into the air. And then as you exhale, sweep the arms all the way back down. So we're just going to move like that just a few times. Getting the movement and the breath matched together. Inhale up. Exhale, bring the hands all the way down. Maybe you just touch your fingertips down onto the floor. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. And kind of just notice how this feels, right? All we're doing is we're just raising our hands up and we're bringing our arms down. But see if you can kind of just tap into the sensations, what's going on. Maybe you close the eyes or just soften the gaze. Inhale and exhale. And these might be your first kind of conscious breaths of the day. Maybe you've not even thought about your breath so far. I've taught one other class, so I have thought about my breath, but otherwise I probably wouldn't have thought about my breath too much. Nice. Next time you inhale the arms up, there's no rush to do this. Clasp the hands and then push the palms. In fact, do this. Have the hand behind the neck and then just open the shoulders out and then kind of make a basket grip behind the back of the head. So you support your head out and then just move a little from side to side. Maybe you kind of want to round the spine a little. Maybe you want to push the elbows back. Where do you feel this? You know, just moving from side to side. Don't think, oh, what do I do next? How do I move my body next? Kind of maybe close the eyes or draw the gaze nice and soft and then just move in a way that feels good. It might be stillness, right? You might be just thinking, that's enough. That feels good. Maybe you round the spine and kind of bring the elbows forward. In fact, let's all move like that. If you've joined me here, inhale just to bring the spine long and pin the elbows back. And then as you exhale, round your spine. 3 more like that. Inhale. And then exhale. You don't have to kind of come down too low. Be aware of your lower spine. Inhale up. Exhale, round your spine. And then one more time. Inhale to come up. And then exhale to round. Nice. Inhale up. And then from here, as you exhale, release your right hand and then place it behind you. Now you might press into the fingertips. Take a deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, bring the left hand onto the right knee. Just twisting over to the right. Every inhale, find length. Every exhale into your twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale to twist. And one more like that. Nice deep inhale. And a full exhale. Beautiful. Inhale, bring the arms all the way back up. Clasp the hands again. Push the palms forward, round the spine. This time we just move the arms. Inhale to come up. Exhale round the spine. So like a seated cat-cow. Think about your navel. Push your navel or kind of suck it back towards your spine. Then you inhale up. And then you exhale, you round. You can have a little wriggle here. Whatever feels good. One more time. Inhale to come up. Exhale to round. Inhale up. And then exhale, twist to the left. So right hand, left knee, left hand behind. So this is your center point. Inhale. And then exhale, twist. Inhale to find length. Exhale to twist. 2 more like that. Nice deep inhale. Full exhale. One more time. Deep inhale. And a full exhale. Beautiful. Inhale, come back to center, sweep the arms up. This time, right hand, hold on to the left wrist. Take an inhale to lengthen. Relax your shoulders. Exhale, bend over to the right. Inhale, come back to center. Left hand, hold to the right wrist. Inhale. And then exhale. Inhale to center. Swap it out. Exhale to the side. Inhale to center. Exhale to the side. Inhale to center. Exhale to the side. Inhale, center. Exhale to the side. One more time. You're swapping the hands over. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale to center. Left hand, right wrist. Exhale to the left. Inhale, bring the arms all the way back up. Exhale, float the arms all the way down. Release the feet. Lean back into your hands and then just drop your knees from side to side. Really, really lovely. Fantastic. Just this kind of windscreen wiper movement and just noticing how the body feels here. Nice. All right, let's do a few more things seated. So if you can remember which shin was in front, bring the other shin in front. And then we're going to bring the hands onto the knees and do a nice familiar pose, Sufi grind. So you just rotate your torso around your hips, pick a direction, and then just kind of draw circles with your chest. Think about how your lower spine feels. Maybe you close the eyes. You can inhale as you come forward here, and then exhale as you begin to come backwards. You pick a direction that feels good for you, kind of a movement that feels good. Nice. Inhale, come back to center. Take a full exhale. And then just swap it out. Come back the other way. Don't think about this too much. Kind of just get into a nice steady rhythm, just circling the torso around your hips. See where you feel this. Nice. And then inhale, come back to center. Take a full exhale. And then just move a little bit through the head. So maybe bring the hands so the palms are face up, just to relax the arms. And then think about the tip of your nose. My nose is itchy now. And then just draw some circles. You know, it doesn't have to be the same as me. You can make smaller circles. Maybe you slow it right down. And see if you can really relax your jaw. Which is how you feel here. When you're ready, you can swap it out. So maybe just come back the other way. Think about your spine. Make sure you're not sitting where the spine begins to slouch. A couple more complete rotations if that's where you are. And then inhale the head all the way back to center. And then have a quick look which shin's in front. And then release your feet, lean back, and then just drop the knees side to side again. Just a little bit of freeing up the hips here. Nice. And we're going to come on to all fours in a moment, but before that, we'll come back to a seated position. And then we'll do a little bit of breath work, but we're going to just balance this out. So one of the breaths we did last week, Nadi Shodhana, where we kind of breathe through alternate nostrils. So feel free to grab a little drink. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use the right hand. We're going to bring it up towards your nose. Block off your right nostril with your thumb. And then very gently take an inhale through your left nostril. And then you're just going to switch that. So with your ring finger or little finger, block off your left nostril, exhale through your right. Inhale through your right. Block off your right, exhale through your left. Inhale through your left. Block it off, ring finger, little finger, exhale through the right. Inhale through your right. Close off right with the thumb, exhale through your left. Inhale left. Close off left, exhale right. Inhale right. Close off right, exhale left. Inhaling through the left. Close it off, exhale through the right. Inhale right. Close off right, final time, exhale through the left. And then you can bring the right hand down and just find some steady breaths through both nostrils. You know, we've done maybe 10, 11, 12 minutes of movement and then a little bit of breath work. So kind of coming up to that midway point of the class, see if you can sense any changes. And I promise you we would come on to all fours. So maybe you lean back into the hands and then bring your legs out and then set yourself up onto all fours. Do that as gently or energetically as feels good for you. Nice big spread out through your hands. And then just stretch the right leg back, press into the right toes, maybe rock a little backwards and forwards. And feel that activation through the right hand side of your leg, your body. And then just swap that out to the other side. You know, we're not doing too much here. We're just kind of enlivening the legs and bringing that activation. And then bring the knees right underneath the hips, and we'll just drop into some cat and cow. So the movement is quite simple. So you inhale, you drop your belly down, and then you lift your head and you lift your heart. So you get that arch in your spine, you know, depending on how archy your spine is. And then as you exhale, you round your spine. So you push into the hands, don't move the arms, but round the shoulders. So you get that nice rounding of the spine. Inhale, drop the belly down. Lift your head, lift your heart. Exhale, round your spine. Really amazing posture to be in. Inhaling. Exhaling. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. And then final cat-cow. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, come back to center. And then what we're going to do is just going to stretch the right leg back again. Press into the right toes. And then you might stay here, or you might just lift the right leg up. And then you can do what you want to do. You might look down the right leg. You might even bend into the right knee. You might kind of begin to draw some circles with the knee. Maybe bring the knee up, bring the knee back. Maybe come back the other way with some circles. Kind of breathe into that right hip. Notice how it feels. And then inhale the leg all the way back. Point the toes down towards the floor. And you just want your right leg in line with your right hip. This is probably where you want to stay. You got a little bit more, sweep the left arm forward. So right leg back, left arm forward. This is called bird dog or sunbird. Nice big spread through the right hand. Take one more deep inhale. And then as you exhale, bring everything down. And then split the knees wide and come into child's pose. Could we put quite a lot of pressure on the wrists? Turn the palms so they face up. I've got a cramp in my foot. And then bring the forehead down onto the floor to kind of just yield here, let it go. Don't worry about me moving, by the way. I'm just trying to release this cramp in the top of my foot and my toes, which I get a lot. And if you do have that, you can always come into a child's pose like this with the toes tucked under, or just settle in. And now you don't have to be still here. You probably want to just wriggle around a little bit. Nice. Then when you're ready, turn the palms down and then come all the way back up. And then stretch the left leg back. Press the toes into the floor first of all. Spread out through the fingers. So you have a nice amount of mat in between the fingers. You kind of firm up through the arms. And then from here, you might lift the left leg. And then again, maybe bend into the knee and lift the knee up. Maybe look down at the left leg. Maybe kind of walk a little side to side or move the leg a little side to side. You can draw some circles. So with the knee bent, maybe think about drawing circles a few times one way, a few times the other. Notice how it feels. Kind of play around. And then inhale, keep the left leg long. Stay here if you want. Or sweep the right arm forward. Yeah, perfect. Nice. Inhaling, exhaling here. Think about your navel. Find your stability, your balance. Maybe just gaze down to the top of your mat. Take one more deep inhale. Take a full exhale and bring everything back down. Maybe stretch the left leg one more time. Then bring the knees right underneath the hips. And then just do a few hip circles. Kind of just circle the hips out. Bring the sit bones back. Bring the sit bones forward. You know, feel that activation through the arms. Maybe lift the fingertips. And move in a way that feels pretty freeing. And then you're going to tuck your toes under. You're going to spread out through the hands and come into downward facing dog. So lift the hips and then come into downward facing dog. Try and resist this. Well, let's come into down dog. Let's take like 3 breaths together. Maybe bending the knees deeply. So you want to lengthen the spine more than anything. Gaze down in between the feet and just kind of feel into your body. See how this feels. And then everyone bring your knees down onto the floor and then just sit back onto your heels if that feels okay. And bring your palms face up just for a moment. Breathe it out. So maybe you just want to watch me on this next downward facing dog. So what we see, if you're relatively new to your practice, you spread out through the hands and you kind of lift. Now, I see this quite a lot where people want to lengthen their legs and then it's kind of a more like this sort of shape. You see, I'm not really far back in my arms. My arms are, I really want to draw these arms back. So if I keep drawing my arms back, you'll see my hips will lift. But then what I want to do is I want to bend my knees a lot and then you'll see my spine lengthen. So it's that sort of shape and not that sort of shape, okay? So for a lot of us, we'll need to bend the knees because we're not super long in the hamstrings or, we just don't have that flexibility, and that's fine. So you bend the knees and then push into the arms and you lift the hips nice and high. Nice. All right. You probably joined me there. If you did, come back, sit on the heels. Take a couple of rounds of breath, palms face up. Let everything settle. And downward facing dog, it's quite an active pose. So it's one that we come back to quite a lot. So it's good just to workshop it now and again and just kind of look at the elements of it. All right, we're going to come to stand. So bring the hands by the knees, press yourself back just a little bit, bend into the knees so you're on your toes, and then nice and simple, just come to lift all the way up. Don't worry, we've got plenty of time to come back into downward facing dog. Stand at the back of your mat, have your feet about hip width apart. Line your feet over the long edges of your mat, and this is the first time we've stood, so notice how it feels just to stand and to breathe. It feels different, right? And you might think it's just standing, but there's always so much more going on than that. And then we're just going to walk very gently to the top of our mats. Do it in a few steps and kind of notice how each foot feels as you kind of ground down into your mat and onto the earth. And then you find yourself at the top of your mat. Palms face forward again. This is Tadasana, mountain pose. Breathe it out. Nice. So we're just going to move a little bit with the breath. I'm going to put my bracelets on because I'm a yoga teacher, right? And one's orange and one's kind of like a nice black colour, so it's matching. All right. Take an inhale. Sweep the arms all the way up. And then as you exhale, hinge and fold, come all the way in. Nice. When you're ready, take an inhale. So you're going to draw the hands up to a flat back. So again, you might keep a bend in the knees and then draw your spine nice and long. So you can see how I can get my back pretty flat here, right? It's pretty flat, right? About there. Exhale to fold. Now, if I try and do it this way by keeping my hands on the floor, that ain't a flat back. If I bring them onto my shins, that's not a flat back. So what I do is, let's do it together. Take an inhale, little bend in the knees, draw the hands onto the thighs, and then lengthen your spine. You roll the shoulders back, so you don't want to kind of round the shoulders. That's the position you want to be in. And then exhale, fold. Root down into your feet. Inhale, come all the way up. And then as you exhale, frame your hands to your heart. Let's do that a couple more times. Just look at the elements of this sun salutation in a little bit more detail. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Little hint of a back bend, so you can lean back very slightly. And then exhale, hinge and fold. Now, I bend my knees as I come down because I need to do that, right? I don't want to strain myself in yoga. Keep the bend in the knees. Take an inhale, lengthen, come into your flat back, and then exhale to fold. Weight into the toes. Inhale, come all the way back up. And then exhale, hands to your heart. So this is like a sun salutation or half sun salutation. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale, hinge and fold. Come all the way down. Nice. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands down. Root down into the feet. Inhale, come all the way up. And then exhale, hands to your heart. So we're just going to move it on and we're going to introduce plank into the pose. and down dog. We've been there already, right? So inhale up. Exhale, hinge and fold. Come all the way in. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands down. And step one foot back, big step, then the other. And then when the feet arrive, back hip width apart, take an inhale just to lengthen into your plank. So you kind of really zip the legs up. You don't want to be kind of here, and you don't want to be here. This is kind of a bit of a cheat, sort of like halfway between plank and down dog. Really engage the legs. Take a deep inhale. And then as you exhale, drop your knees and then lower to the floor. Try and keep your elbows tucked in. For me, I look at the inside of my elbows and then I lower down onto the floor. Take an inhale, press the tops of the feet into the floor, come into cobra and resist the temptation to come up too high. And then as you exhale, keep the elbows tucked in, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Don't forget the bent knees. Probably breathe it out. Deep inhale. Full exhale. One more time. Nice deep inhale. And a full exhale. Bend the knees, hinge the hips, look between your hands, and then gently step to the top of your mat. Take an inhale to lengthen your spine. Let me bend my knees a little bit more. Exhale to fold. Root down into the feet. Inhale, sweep the arms high and wide. And then exhale, hands to your heart. Nice. So let's do that with one movement and one breath. And we'll go for 2 rounds. So this is sun salutation A. There's lots of different variations in sun salutation, but this is the classic one. This is the one that you've probably seen time and time again. And if you don't know it, and you think, well, you know what, I want to do this at home at some point, make it up, because it doesn't matter as long as you're not hurting yourself. It doesn't always have to be the same. Hands at heart center, inhale, sweep the arms up. As you exhale, hinge and fold, come all the way down. Inhale, lengthen, flat back. Exhale, hands down, step one foot back, then the other. So nice big step back into your plank. As you exhale, drop your knees lower to the floor. Keep the elbows tucked in. Come down nice and slowly. Press the tops of the feet into the earth. Take an inhale into cobra. And then exhale, tuck your toes into downward facing dog. Breathe it out here. Nice deep inhale. Full exhale. One more like that. Deep inhale. And a full exhale. And then bend the knees into the hips, look between your hands, and then gently step through, one foot then the other, land the feet nice and lightly. Inhale to come up halfway. Exhale to hinge and fold. Root down into your feet. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. So there you go. It's one movement, one breath. One more like that. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands down. Step one foot back, then the other. Nice deep inhale here to find length. And then exhale, drop your knees. Turn the inside of your elbows to the top of your mat, lower to the floor. Inhale into your cobra. Exhale into your downward facing dog. 2 breaths, deep inhale. Full exhale. One more like that, deep inhale. And a full exhale. Bend your knees, hinge your hips, look between your hands, get nice and springy, and then gently step through. As many steps as feels good. Inhale to re-lengthen your spine. Exhale to hinge and fold. Root down into your feet. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. And then just pause, maybe bring the hands down. Stand in your Tadasana. Let it all go. Maybe close the eyes and just notice the effects of your practice. Beautiful. Nice. Let's do a couple more things from standing. So we'll do a little sequence that will challenge your strength a little bit. That's okay. You know, I'll give you variations as we come down into it. From the top of our mats, let's bring our feet together so the big toes touch. You have a little gap in between the heels. And then when you're ready, inhale, sweep the arms forward, sit back into the heels and come into chair pose. As you exhale, hinge, step the right foot back, nice big step, drop the right knee, maybe walk the left foot a little wider, take an inhale, root down through the top of the back foot, through the left foot, all four corners, and you're going to just sink in here a little bit. Deep inhales, full exhales. One more like that, nice deep inhale, and then a full exhale. Nice. Bring the hands down, and then tuck the toes on the right foot, and then step back into plank. And we're going to come into a side plank, okay? So you'll bring the left hand into the center of your mat, then you can roll over onto the blade edges of your feet, stack the feet wide like that, and then bring the arm up. Now, if you want to, you can always bring the feet on top of each other, or if you want, you can bring the bottom leg down. So there's three choices I gave you, okay? So maybe let's kind of do a little stack where the feet are side by side. That gives you more stability. If you want to bring the bottom leg down, go for it. Or maybe come here and stack the feet on top of each other. Take one more round of breath. As you exhale, bring the right hand down, lift the hips, come back into downward facing dog. And then on your next exhale, we'll just soften the knees down onto your mat and then come into child's pose. Just to take a break in between the two sides. It's quite strenuous when we come into side plank, so just let the breath go. Kind of let all of the effort drop away. No worries now. And then when you're ready, spread out through the hands. Walk the hands back towards the knees again. Tuck the toes very gently with an inhale. Keep breathing here. Come to the top of your mat. Stand at the back of your mat, palms face forward. Maybe close your eyes. Maybe breathe out through your mouth. And then when you're ready, we'll just walk again to the top of our mats. Take that little walk forward. Bring the feet together, big toes touch, little gap in between your heels. Take an inhale, sweep the arms up, and then sit back into your heels. As you exhale, hinge and fold. And then this time, step the left foot back. Before you even soften the left knee down, maybe walk that right foot a little wider. It'll give you loads of stability. And then drop the left knee down. Root down through the right foot. Root down through the back of the top of the back foot. And then come into your low lunge. Breathe it out here. Where do you feel it? As long as the right ankle and the right knee are lined up, you're pretty much in a good place. Take a deep inhale. And then as you exhale, bring the hands down. Tuck the toes on the left, so you give yourself a little room, and then step the right foot back to meet it. And then inhale into plank, left hand under the face, and then, right hand under the face. And then roll over onto the blade edges. The right foot, lift the left arm up. Take a variation. Maybe like me, maybe the feet side by side. Maybe you drop the bottom leg down, the right leg, you're on the knee. As long as you lift them, you can, if this feels too much with the left hand, lift it, be here. Take one more round of breath. As you exhale, left hand meets the right. Come back into your final downward facing dog. Maybe think about those little alignment tips I gave you at the start. Take a deep inhale through your nose. Take a full exhale through your mouth. One more like that. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Soften the knees down onto your mat. And then sit back onto your heels one final time. Bring the palms so they face up. Just let the body settle. Let the mind settle. Notice the effects of your practice. When you're ready, we're going to come and lie down on our backs and we'll be there for the rest of the class. We've got a few minutes left. So come to lie down. When you do that, maybe hug your knees in towards your belly. squeeze your knees in. Not too tight, but enough to kind of release through your lower spine. It's beautiful, really nice. And then finding a Shavasana that works for you. You can always keep the knees bent. You can be here, or here with the knees touching, palms face up. Maybe lengthen your legs down your mat and let the feet fall open. So whatever feels good for you, just find a shape. See if you can commit to the stillness. And then when you're ready from here, just bring a little movement back in, maybe deepen your breath. You can give the fingers a little wriggle out, maybe stretch the arms above the head, maybe stretch the arms towards the sky. One final bend of the knees in towards your chest. Yeah, maybe the yawn comes quite naturally. And then roll over to one side, very gently press into your top hand and spiral yourself all the way back up. And then we'll finish in a seated position where we started the class. Really beautiful work, everyone, today. Bring the hands onto your knees and just notice the effects of your practice. Thank yourself for showing up, getting onto your mat, and maybe bringing the hands to your heart, and with a wholehearted bow, wish yourself well, wish everybody else well. Namaste. Thank you so much today. Thank you for joining. It was really lovely to practice with you as normal. Yeah, it is though, Margaret, isn't it? You know, when you're when you're moving like that, you know, especially things like side plank, you're recruiting a lot, aren't you? It's not just your breath. It's like, and it's not just about strength. It's like, there's so much going on. There's kind of like engagement in the core, and the legs have got to be strong and the arms have got to be strong. Then you need to find the breath to kind of like hold poses like side plank. So well done for working up a bit of a heat. That's amazing stuff. And thank you, Irene. Really lovely to have you along. Next week is Carolina. The week after me is me and Anon. All right. So wish me luck as I go traveling around Europe again. Let's see what I find this time. All right. Look after yourselves, guys. Lovely to see you all. Take care. Namaste. Bye.